You're listening to Comedy Central.
February 21st, 2018. From Comedy Central's World News headquarters in New York, this is The Daily Show with Trevor Noah, Ears Edition.
Our guest tonight, rapper and actor Ludichris is here, everybody. But first, the Winter Olympics are in full swing, which means we get all the pageantry of Russian cheating on ice.
After winning bronze in mixed curling, Russian Alexander Krushelinski has tested positive for a banned substance.
Curling requires slow, precise movements where a granite rock is swept down the ice. So word that Russian curler Alexander Krushelnitsky may have used the banned substance meldonium has sent shockwaves to the Olympic Village.
We're trying to make it the cleanest sport as possible and these games clean, and there's no place for it in the Olympics for cheating and doping.
Yeah, curling should be the cleanest event. The entire sport is sweeping. In fact, the only thing cleaner than the ice is the seats because no one's watching. Like, will the Russians cheat at everything? What a waste of steroids. Think about it. Because you're like, I take the steroids. What are you doing? This athlete is having the worst week ever. Think about it. He lost his medal, his balls have shrank, and he's still just a curler. But let's move on. Let's move on to the continuing story of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida. It's been 1 week now since the tragic event occurred, and it appears progress might be coming from an unlikely source.
President Trump is offering some insight into what the White House may be working on in the wake of last week's school shooting in Florida. The president is tweeting his support for strengthening background checks for gun purchases, and he's directed his Justice Department to draft a ban on bump stocks, which make it easier to fire rounds more quickly.
That's right. President Trump might be supporting a ban on bump stocks and the strengthening of background checks, which is weird, right? Trump might do something good. Yeah. You know you don't know how to feel about that. It's like getting hit on by someone really hot, but they're also your cousin. It's like, I'm flattered, but I can't go home with you. You know, like, call me when both our parents are dead, because that's how it works, right? Yeah? If your parents are dead, then you can smash? No? Okay, just me. Maybe the reason the president has signaled this about-face on gun safety is because he's watching the same kids we've all been watching over the past few days. Survivors of the shooting who have been speaking out.
The only reason that we've gotten so far is because we are not afraid of losing money. We are not afraid of getting reelected or not getting reelected. We have nothing to lose.
I beseech our American lawmakers from Congress and Senate to stop slinging mud across the aisle and come up with a bipartisan solution to an obvious epidemic of gun violence and mass shooting in America.
They don't need to tell us that we don't know what we're talking about. We have stared down the barrel of an AR-15 ourselves. We're just trying to not let 17 of us get shot in the face again.
I think that last kid is very relatable. I, too, do not wish to be shot in the face. Yeah. Wherever Malala is right now, she's like, that's what I've been saying. Yeah. We're all on the same page. Now, most people who see those kids are impressed by how articulate they are, and they're inspired by their passion. Other people, like ex-congressman and paid CNN contributor Jack Kingston, they think it's suspicious that these kids say they don't want to be shot in the face.
I think it's a horrible tragedy, and I'm heartbroken. But I also know that their sorrow can very easily be hijacked by left-wing groups
but do you think
who have an agenda. Well, let's ask ourselves, do we really think that, and I say this sincerely, do we really think 17-year-olds on their own are going to plan a nationwide rally?
I say this sincerely. Get the out of here, man. Really? Really? You think adults can convince teenagers to do something they don't want to do? Really? Like, you think these kids were actually pro-gun? And then what, George Soros showed up and he was like, who wants Skittles? Yeah! You're shocked that these kids can plan a few events? Like, if this guy had even seen one movie about high school, he would know that planning rallies is at least 30% of being a teenager, right? Yeah, the other 70% is falling in love with vampires. That's all it basically is. And I'm not saying that these kids aren't getting any help from adults, right? But that doesn't mean it's not their idea. It's the same way that teenagers get grown-ups to help them buy booze. Like, that's what they do. Yeah, when that happens, we're not like, really? Who made you want to get crunk tonight? Who was it, huh? Was it the Democrats? Now, some pro-gun advocates are taking the opposite approach, right? They do believe that these kids are acting without adult supervision, and for them, that's exactly the problem.
The media is focused more on a teenager's expertise in supply-side control measures for guns, which, Tucker, let's be candid, they probably have not studied a very complicated, layered issue.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. These kids may not be professors in guns, but maybe being in a mass shooting gets you an honorary degree. Yeah? Maybe? Just maybe? Like, you do realize that if people weren't allowed to share their opinions unless they'd studied the issue, then Donald Trump would never be allowed to speak, right? Never allowed to speak. Because, I mean, the only thing he studied is real estate and cheeseburgers. That's it. It goes bun, patty, cheese, lettuce, tomato. You can ask for the tomato to be removed. A lot of people don't know that, folks. It's a layered issue. Layered issue. But maybe the most disturbing attack on the survivors of this shooting isn't about their age or their expertise. It's the claim that they were never involved in a shooting at all.
Social media is being inundated with conspiracy theories, claiming that some of the grieving students fighting for gun control are actually hired actors. Some posts like this one being shared more than 100,000 times.
You know, I honestly still can't believe that this conspiracy is even a thing. Aside from everything else and how disgusting it is, have you ever met an actor? Huh? You think these kids are actors in a secret world? No actor would be able to participate in a secret conspiracy. Like, if they played diarrhea guy number 3 in a commercial, that's how they introduce themselves at every single party. They'd be like, nice to meet you. You probably know me from my work. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me all the time. Here's what I find funny about this whole debate. Most of it, and most of the arguments boil down to one idea. Teenagers are too young, too emotional, too inexperienced to talk about guns. Yeah, but as soon as they turn 18, they can own as many of those bad boys as they want. And I guess, in a way, this is how you know these students are having an effect. Right? You've never seen gun advocates so desperate that they'd start attacking the victims of a mass shooting. And that's the power of these teenagers. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The Daily Show. My guest tonight is a Grammy Award-winning rapper, actor, as well as host and executive producer of MTV's Fear Factor, Season from Hell. Please welcome Ludichris.
Thanks for having me. What a live studio audience you have here. See that? By the way, I don't even know if they know. Happy belated birthday, my man. Birthday was yesterday.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
What did you do to celebrate?
What did I do to celebrate?
Or have you celebrated yet?
No, I don't do anything. I just get older.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to throw you a surprise party after this. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
I got a surprise party from Ludichris.
It won't be Fear Factor style, trust. They're not Fear Factor.
I hope it's not Fear Factor, because this is one of those shows that every time I watch, I go, yeah, I could do that, and then I'm like, no, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do most of the things. Fear Factor is back, and it's back with a bang.
Yeah.
Some of the highest ratings we've ever seen. You've come in as an executive producer, and you're hosting the show as well.
Yes, sir.
This is Season from Hell.
Right.
What does that mean on a show where everything already felt like it was from hell?
That means that, we do our homework, we find out exactly what people are most afraid of individually, and then we kind of cater that to them. So that's really what it's their own personal hell, and that's what it's all about.
Why would you do this?
Well, you just said it for ratings. You know something about ratings. You know a little something about that.
Right, but do you think people ever get anything? Because I don't understand why anyone would want to do it beyond the prizes, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to do it?
Honestly, because the whole moral to the story is to overcome your fears. That's what life is supposed to be all about. You got to tackle your fears head on. I always say, why tiptoe through life to arrive safely at death?
Oh,
no.
That's powerful. That's powerful. You should
Very
run through life and die early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Run through life and die early. Maybe somewhere in between. Let's meet ourselves halfway.
Jog through life and get somewhere and then die. I like this.
Yeah, there you go.
We're working this out.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like when you're making the show, I always watch Fear Factor, and then there'll be like stunts that people will do. In this iteration of Fear Factor, it feels like there's been a millennial bent to it. Like I mean, you had people climb a skyscraper to rescue their cell phone.
Absolutely, because we all know millennials are most afraid of losing their cell phone. So, you know, we've catered things to be more relevant to the culture and technology of today. So that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty in it.
Have these people never heard of insurance?
Listen, not only have they not heard of insurance, if they were to lose their phones, they wouldn't even know how to call their own mama, man. And you know that. So you have to be very particular for these individuals.
Like you always seem like you're always composed on the show. You're always chilled. You're telling people what to do.
Because I don't have to do this stuff.
That's what I want to know. Yeah, but that's what I wanted to know. I've always wanted to know, what is the thing that Luda couldn't do? Are you a heights person, or are you like a creepy crawly person? You're a speed. What's the thing that really scares you?
You mean besides being under this presidency that we're under right now? I'm sorry. I'm messing with you. So the things that scare me the most, besides honestly that and like people that want to take pictures in the men's bathroom, like that, I don't want to.
Does that also happen to you?
It does, man. I never want a stall or like to be in the background of a picture that's taken. Like, hell no, I'm not taking a picture in the men's bathroom.
People think but that's a thing that happens
to
many people who are on TV or radio or music, whatever, any celebrity. People just come up to you in a bathroom, especially like for guys. I think it's because we stand next to each other. And then the person will look over and be like, hey, Luda!
Right. I absolutely hate that. I actually made fun of it on one of my videos a long time ago. Right. But honestly, like being out in open water, murky water, and something brushing up against my leg and me not knowing what it is, that scares me more than anything. Sea creatures, sea monsters, sharks, all of that. When you're powerless and you're just out in the middle of nowhere, not that I would randomly be out in the middle of nowhere, but I'm just telling you. That's what scares. The thought of it scares me. That's basically what I'm saying.
Okay.
So what are you most afraid of?
What am I most afraid of? Starving. No, Jen, I'm most afraid of being hungry. Like, that's my greatest fear. It's like, if you've really been, like, so when I watch Fear Factor, here's the funny thing. A lot of the time, the things you make people eat are things that as Africans we eat generally. And people think this is crazy, but they'll be like, oh, there was one where it was like a type of worm that we eat in South Africa. It's called a mopani worm. And they were like, you're going to eat them? And everyone's like, And I'm like, I need to order some food. I need to... It's like a cultural thing that switches out.
Well, believe it or not, we did a study on what most people are the most scared of.
Yeah.
And you would never believe what it is. Just generally speaking, what people are most afraid of. What can you guess?
I would think it's probably public speaking.
Okay, no. The answer is birds. People are most afraid of birds.
What do you mean birds?
Birds, like if a bird is flying and comes near you like it's about to attack you or something like that,
well,
people
I feel
are
like
just
you
scared
need
of
to
birds.
amend that. People are afraid of crazy birds. Why is the bird flying to you?
Birds in general, even
that's
if you're
not just birds in general. That's a crazy bird. Birds flying to you. You're not afraid of that?
We're not talking about people that live in New York City, because y'all have crazy birds flying towards you all the time.
Yeah, New York, that makes sense.
We're talking about everywhere else.
Just people are afraid of birds.
Afraid of birds.
Just flying to them. That seems insane.
Flying near them, close to them, anything. They're just afraid of birds. And of course, dropping above them. Or flying above them. And dropping above them.
You are definitely not afraid of speed. That's one thing we know from the Fast and Furious franchise. It's blown up all over the world.
Thank you.
We've watched you and the team from the beginning. There was a point where the movie seemed like it wasn't happening anymore, and then people were like, wait, is Fast and Furious finished? There's stories about Tyrese and The Rock and everything else, and they're like, is the franchise gone? Are we going to see you guys back together? Is the family going to come back together
I believe we are going to come back together. From what I understand, we're going to start shooting next year, and there should be a Fast 9 coming in 2020, ladies and gentlemen, so hopefully that happens. And we're supposed to do 2 more, so it's supposed to be a 9 and then end on 10.
Right.
Yeah.
I have one gripe with you. When you guys were doing Fast and Furious, the most recent one, you were shooting it in New York.
Yeah.
And there were like chase scenes, and I was like, but you can't drive anywhere in New York.
Listen, I said the same thing, but
that's unreal.